Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band, charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to
Final result, you can attest
You want to know what happening in the ministry,
and unwavering commitment to the peace, stability, and the betterment of our full country, our pure country. Sadly, it seems that the workers' administration is interpreting our commitment to the peace and stability of our country as a weakness. And therefore, keen on disturbing the peace by weaponizing key government functionaries to wish on officials of the past government. For the UP administration to exploit our legal system and risk fomenting chaos, it tells you to what extent some politicians are willing to go just to maintain power. This is exactly the path that the citizens sought not to tread when it maintained the stability of the country against all odds. While spearheading a peaceful transition of power to President Bouaka, despite of a hard-fought and close election, these political detentions have, however, shown the lack of foresight and total disregard on the part of workers and his confidants, caring less about the consequences of their actions, insofar as it served their narrow political interests. Fellow Liberians, the latter move was intended to divert public attention from the lingering economic crisis the nation faces and the uncovering of government use of public funds from the central bank to build out the private bank, which the Unity Party used to finance its elections campaign. Wow. It also comes against several instances of disregard of the country's procurement law, thereby committing the country to hundreds of millions of dollars and the daily robbery of 22 million under the guise of road rehabilitations among the glaring acts of corruption. Suddenly, officials who once gained notoriety for public theft now want us to believe they have transformed into referees of good governance. The CDC will be briefing its partisans in the coming days during a series of mass meetings about the dangerous games of witch hunt by the UP. I call on other members of the opposition to join us in this fight to preserve our political system. I will continue to engage with ECOWAS leaders whose countries are given blood and tears for the attainment and sustainable peace and security in Liberia, while notifying
anyone who considers our efforts witch hunt, because only witches are being hunted. We owe no apology to anyone who considers our efforts witch hunt because only witches are being hunted. Look at Liberia today. Where are the clinics? Where are the schools? Where are the streets? Where are the roads? Not because we couldn't build them, but the monies have been diverted to individuals. And what are these individuals? They go outside the country, they buy houses, but the country that they make the money from, they are afraid to use the money there. So they go out, they forget that there are hundreds of children here that are not going to school. There are no medical. I have a very close friend now who is sick in Foya. He could have been brought here by helicopter, but where are they? Corruption is a poison. Whatever it touches, it destroys. It deprives people from having good roads. It deprives others from having good medical facilities. You're always wishing to go elsewhere when you can have it right here. That's what corruption does. It destroys a nation. It makes people become disrespected because people think we are a country living on handout when we shouldn't be.
President, members of the press, I'm glad to be with the company where the premises were vandalized, the vehicle and the residents were burned, properties were looted and stolen, and a manager of the company was threatened with physical bodily harm. We all can recall that shameful mob actual violence that took place against an elderly lady in March of this year in Chocolate City, Ghana's. She was accused of being a witch and was severely beaten by the residents of the community. She was rescued from the mob, rushed to the early hospital for medical attention, but unfortunately, she died. We all can also recall the mild violence against a lady accused of being a criminal in the commercial district rather in Peaceville. She was stripped naked, severely beaten, and sexually assaulted after she was accused by some unidentified individual that she stole from them. Shamefully, and I stress it, shamefully, bystanders watched for us stepping in to help her. This situation is so serious that just the other day, the Supreme Court of Liberia, all the justices, met with me, the Inspector General of Police, and the Executive Director of Liberian Authority to discuss the situation as it affects the judiciary, especially the prevention of the enforcement and judgment of the force for angry crowds. Our country, my brothers and sisters, is moving too fast down the wrong path. Mob violence has become an unfortunate stain on the fabric of our nation. We have to arrest the situation and change the course of our country. And this is what this administration has pledged to do. And this is what this administration will do. Any form of mob violence is criminal. Mob violence often leads in its wake death, severely bodily injuries, and destruction of properties. While it is criminal to engage in any illegal act, it is also very criminal to damage state infrastructure or to beat the suspected criminal or to destroy private property. This government will not condone or tolerate mob violence. It is a violation of our laws, and it is also a violation of democratic principles and values. This administration will uphold the rule of law. Law is the fabric that holds the society together. We Liberians have seen and experienced firsthand what happens when there is a breakdown of law and order, chaos, upheaval, unrest, with all the
Okay, so folks, I want to say welcome back.
It's happening in life.
Thanks for joining us again tonight
Spoon gonna tell you.
on another edition of the program. This is the Late Night Show,
Spoon gonna tell
Late Night Politics on Spoon.
Africa.
This is where we talk the talk.
Just do
This is where we bring you critical analysis.
know.
This is where we bring you all of the updates and provide you the time to have a say
You want to get
in
it.
the national discourse. I'd like to say welcome. Thanks for joining us.
You want to.
We are here tonight as usual live across the Spoon Network, Spoon 107.5 FM,
Politician want to make
Fabric 101.1,
to spoon.
and other frequencies across the country. Many thanks to
Be the in ministry to
the partner radio stations that are relaying the program tonight. My name is Nelson Colette, and I want to welcome everyone. The rest of the team will be joining in tonight. I see our own man, Shirawu Sandy, soon to be Dr. Sandy, is in the background. He's going to be joining in and the rest of the team. And I want to say thanks for joining us tonight. Kindly share the program as you come on. It's going to be a great discussion tonight. This is one edition of the Late Night Show you don't want to miss. Share the program. Let's have a great conversation with a diverse panel here tonight. It's going to be a fascinating show. Let me bring Sandy on quickly. Sandy, thanks for joining us tonight. It's good to have you on. How are you today?
I am great, Nelson. How you doing?
Yes, I'm doing good. I'm glad you are doing great as well. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There's
How
some
was your How was your day? For you, your day is over there.
Oh yeah. It's already 12 a.m. here. So we're in the next day already.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
12:07
I
a.m.
remember managing it there that day.
Oh yeah. You came to but interestingly, you are the only panelist who was able to come to Liberia and made it to studio. I think 2 editions, right? 2 editions of the show. You came in.
Was it 2 or 1?
Oh, it was 1 edition, eh? You tried one
Yeah.
time. You had
I tried
love and
one
you
time.
made it. Yeah.
No, I joined again from Rwanda. I remember I joined again from Rwanda.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So it's a great thing to be here again tonight.
Yeah, my brother.
And let's hope we can have a great show. And again, I want to appreciate all of our folks for joining us here tonight. I see Esther Williams is here. I see Olivia Patmo. I see Dr. Ishmael Kelvin Jason has joined us. Mary Lincoln, my Mary Lincoln, welcome, man. Thanks for joining us tonight, man. It's good to have you on. Golden Trust Group co-founder. Hey, my own dear brother Nad BK Sasa. Thanks for joining us tonight. I appreciate you a whole lot. Joseph Colley is here tonight as well, joining us from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Marie, Marie gotta define a role. You won't be in the comment section, or you want to. Marie, you gotta see that where you want to be in the comment section or on set. But thanks for joining us, Marie.
Don't recognize Marie anymore in the comment section.
Yeah, I will not recognize her in the comment section anymore.
Yeah.
Luther Saki, Leva Soiree, Victor Morgan, and I want to welcome everyone tonight. Thanks for joining us. It's a great way to start another edition of the program tonight. It's gonna be a very interesting conversation. Let's hope we can. Bernard Davy is watching live from Liberia. Tommy Jr. is here. DJ Do has joined us. Edward Zazau Stewart Jr. is here tonight. Thanks for joining us. Adam Kamara is here from the UK. We appreciate you. And thanks to everyone. Hashim Fambale. Hashim Fambale has joined us tonight. Jerry Gitawe, Patrick Dauber. We appreciate everyone tonight. Thanks for joining us. This is your late night show. We run this show together. We here on set, you on the other side of the screen. and we do what we do, and yes. So we're gonna get straight into it. We're starting up earlier because we want to end sooner as well. Um, yeah. So Sandy, you wanna do your opening, or you want us to go for the updates first?
Well, I guess we can go with the update first, and then maybe at that time others will join. So let's
Okay.
go over the updates as people are still coming up.
Exactly. Let me bring Bila Soiree on. Someone says Bila is always looking up, not in his camera. I don't know why. Bila, why are you always looking above your camera when you're making your point? When it's time to um 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 just normal, just the casual, conversation, side conversations, Bila will look in his camera like now he's doing. Or it's time to make his point. When it is his turn, then he looks above. So someone said apparently he tries to spy somewhere where he has the intellectual jacket hanging, to pick up some pieces from there. But it's great that we're here, man. Be that welcome to the show. Let me welcome Moba
Thank you.
Zokia.
Thank you.
Yesterday we were singing Shirley's happy birthday song, and Cindy was nowhere to be found. Cindy left the show, and Moba has a birthday tomorrow. Moba, happy pre-birthday! Thanks for joining us. I understand the CEO got the cash app, and he handled you very well today. Thank you. And it's a great way to start the show. But let me bring some of the updates now. Baba, no time for any explanation,
But
clarification, or
how can I
whatever.
explain? How can I explain here? I
Okay, so a lot is happening in the country, man, and we can only hope that uh, uh, we can only hope that we we have a peaceful and stable country going. So yesterday we brought you the update about the House of Representatives regarding everything that's been happening there. Um, the the lawmaker of Bone County, Representative Marvin Cole, threatening to declare the CSA boss a non-governmental material based on um, his refusal to work in line with what they presented. A shift in the budget or a change in the figure presented with respect to employee salary, and then he then demanded that there be a head count and stuff like that. So just a day after the lawmaker threatened the CSA boss uh, of a vote of no confidence, the CSA has now conducted the head count at the House of Representatives. So, um, so the process came as a result of a communication from the CSA. They wrote them, telling them that they wanted to do it, uh, and so they got access to the payroll, and they were able to do the head count, which went on very well. You could see smiles on the faces of some of the employees who form part of the process. What exactly is going to come out of the CSA following this process? That's what Liberians are looking up to, and they're now going to compare what they have with what they saw, what's on the book versus what they encounter, what they experienced in the field. And so this is where we are. But the good thing is that the haircut was finally done. That has, in a way, breaking down the tension that existed between the CSA and that of the House of Representatives. And Marvin Cole, as a very influential lawmaker there, at the House of Representatives. You know that he's the chairman on Rules, Order, and Administration at the House of Representatives. So he was at some point seen as someone who was advocating on behalf of his people. But then the CSA wanted the right thing to be done. Yes, maybe you're advocating because of a position, the committee you chair, and all of that, but we are more concerned about seeing the right thing be done. And so that went on. And then last evening we had a conversation, and we were talking about some of what the Justice Minister said. But he made an appearance at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism. They make a regular press briefing, and there was a whole lot he touched on. There's a whole lot he said. Well, the permit for protestation is one of the things he captured. But beyond that, and which we are going to throw some light on today, has to do with mob violence. Mob violence in Liberia. And at some point, I will play that video where he outlined the different instances, the different occasions on which there were mob violence in the country. From the lady in red light who was accused of being a criminal who allegedly stole a motorbike. In no time, as soon as they shouted "rogue," everybody went on her and maltreated that lady. At a point, even the network had to raise some money for her while she was in Ghana. So there are many other cases across the country. And he went on to talk about how much of a negative impact mob violence has on a country like Liberia. How many innocent people have lost their lives due to mob violence? That you walk in the street and someone says, "Rope," nobody cares to ask question. The next thing everyone is thinking of is to grab a stone, grab something to mob that person who has been accused. Now the next question is, where is justice? So, and whenever I talk about this, I always share a personal experience I had, something I witnessed so many years back in a red light area, where a guy who knew a lady, a very close friend that maybe you share some tough jokes with, and then this lady was standing in the parking station trying to get a car and stuff like that. And then he went at her back. She had a bag, a plastic bag, and other stuff. So he went, trying to peep into the plastic and stuff like that. And then she didn't turn. She didn't look at the face of the person, and she shouted "roar," because at the time, once you say really, everybody's gonna really. Once you said "roar," the next thing everybody ran, started to beat on the guy. He tried explaining, tried to even make the lady recognize him, but it was too late. In just few minutes, he was bloody up. Later, she got to realize that this was her very good friend, but then it was late. Mob violence. All right, so he spoke about that. The Justice Minister said they're going to take some strong actions against mob violence. That people should be prosecuted when they are found guilty in a court of competent jurisdiction. When they are investigated, when they are given their time in court, then they should be prosecuted. Or it shouldn't be on the basis of allegation and someone say you rogue and so everybody comes and beat on you. No. And then the next thing, he also mentioned this issue about the asset recovery. Not asset recovery, but everything that's going on with respect to the other reports, government going after ex-officials of government or get them to account. He says something that sort of gave hope to a lot of people who are concerned about the issue of witch hunt. He said not a single person will be prosecuted only on the basis of what the public say or on sentiment. If anybody will be prosecuted, it will be because it has been proven beyond all reasonable doubt by document, evidence, and everything available that that person did X, Y, and Z. Other than that, no one will be prosecuted on sentiment. So these are happenings, and I want us to start the show from here. A lot more is happening. We can go through all of the updates. Let's do our opening, and then we can come back and officially start the show. Cindy, you want to start up?
Yes, Nelson, well, it's good to be here tonight. A topic well exhausted today by Spoon Talk Day Show, something that I also wanted to highlight, where a group of illegal mining have been discovered across the country, where there are some new natural resources that are also being discovered, mined, and where the people are telling the Liberian people that they are digging sand. It just kind of remind me of my tour around Liberia recently, where wherever I went, I saw natural resources that could enrich all of us, right? Our country. We have a very, very naturally rich country, but we really don't know how important those resources are. And the government that our government will even allow foreigners to just penetrate our forests and our different regions, mining, digging, cutting our trees down without any proper supervision. I also wanted to highlight the issue in Grangida. Grangida, we have a group of foreigners there. We call them the Burkina Bees. They are from Burkina Faso, but most of them actually have lived in the Ivory Coast. And in recent time, folks start to discover that those people were illegally migrating from Ivory Coast to Liberia through the Grangida side. Nelson, when I went to Grangida recently, the entire place is filled with them. There is nowhere in Grangida that you will go without finding Burkina Bees everywhere. And do you know where you find them the most? In the bushes. Our young people stay in the towns, and the Burkina Bees are in the bushes. Do you know what they are planting? Cocoa. Cocoa. But our young people give them the forest. They are in the different towns. They are debating politics. They are debating sports. They are in the towns arguing which team is the best team, whether Man U is better than Barcelona, or this other team is better than this team. This player is better than this player. This politician is better than this politician. That's what they do in the towns. And the Burkina Bees, the foreigners, they are in our forest in Grangida. They occupy the entire forest now, planting cocos. For who? For them, their children, and their children's children in Grangida forest. And our own brothers and sisters are in the town debating politics and sport. I'm just drawing that line to say, what we don't see in our country, other people are seeing it and they are coming for it. It is about time we open our eyes, recognize what we have, and take actions. If we don't, others will continue to come to penetrate our forests while we live in the cities, and they will take away what belongs to us. I look forward to a great show.
Thank you very much, Sandy, for that opening. Moba, let's hear you.
Thank you, Nelson, and thank you to my fellow panelists, and thank you to our listener, Facebook, YouTube, by means of radio. Look, Sandy lay right. I think the government, what on my mind, is very disturbing. That's the government need to step in. I think the government and all the entity, the last time I listened to Women Pay, the minister of Lands and Mines. He laid it the right way, but I think he got more work to do because end of the day, the people taking our resources, then they're leaving nothing, they're making our family rich in our country, and our people suffer. Even where they're taking the resources from. Our people don't even get good drinking water. They don't have school. They don't have medical facility. They don't have good living places, and everything just deplorable. And end of the day, we'll come every day we're running behind. But look, Cindy, you lay it right. But this where the problem coming from, right? Our lawmakers here is beyond this. We got a lot of lawmakers who people, like few days from now, you'll see names will start coming up because it just come out. Names will start coming out. People who building the people who supported them, destroying our country and their people. But end of the day, they're sitting, they're getting what they're supposed to get, and they get time for the citizen. I think it is the time for the president just like you might back out to stand up. You should listen to nobody. People say, oh, dictator. But it's not about dictatorship. It's about doing the work of the Liberian people and going by the constitution and living by the laws. That's what makes a country. You can get people coming in our country, exploring our country another day, but everything we agree it's been happening for the past, let's say, since any time. It kind of drug we are from west, Bogman say from west to ridiculous. But now it's under the regime. We got to stand up. We're not sit and we want to appreciate Senator Waterspoon for giving us the opportunity to speak. So we're on those issues. Next thing we will come up, we'll conscientize our people, we'll make them to understand that the foreigners are coming to destroy the country, and we'll get all of the lawmakers who are supporting those people, and we will bring our name up, and with our names, any lawmaker who will be who name will be mentioned in the case in your district. This coming election will make sure the people will vote you out. Thank you.
Peter?
Thank you, and I'd like to begin by saying good evening to each and everyone. But whatsoever mean you following, it's a great thing to be back to discuss Mama Liberia. When I'm always looking, I can be retrospecting. So basically, we are here back to discuss Liberia, and I want to speak to the conscience of government officials. In as much as we support Liberia and this government, our primary concern is the people, and always will not compromise the people for anybody's support or anybody loyalty that people can say in another form. If your work is not bringing any productivity to the people you serve, then there's an issue with you. And people always go to school. The reason we went to school is to benefit our country, benefit our family, and benefit society in general. If your education does not come up with the best to serve the very people that you was given opportunity to serve, then I think there's an issue. Government upon government, we have seen ministers, directors, representatives, senators coming with the issue about my interest. And if your interest cannot supersede the off groove of our country, then there's a problem with you as individual. So when people come to government with self-interest and self-agenda, that there's an issue for the big up here out there. That is the president. What we want to say to the president is this: you are voted on the basis of transparency and accountability, and that accountability should live with you from all sectors of government. We have seen you advising government officials by giving them some basic warning, but I think it is about time the pace of certain deterrent now has to stop, because what we're hearing and some of the things that we're saying, our people life are not getting improved on a daily basis. And that is why we are always here to always discuss. Thank you, Nelson.
Thanks again for that, Peter. Thanks for making that very important point. So we have to start the conversation, and it's very important, the point Sandy made with respect to what we don't see in our country, others will see it, and the sooner we get to open our eyes to the opportunities that are around us and stop being too hopeful of what is not available, the better it's gonna be for us. And I think this is something very important for every Liberian, especially the young people, to take note of. And so we're here again tonight. Mob violence is something that almost every Liberian have witnessed, if not being involved with or being a victim of. Uh, Especially in post-war Liberia, I can't say much about the pre-war era, but especially in post-war Liberia, it has become a norm where people get to take actions based on allegation. You walk down a community in the middle of the night, during the daytime, someone says rogue, and before you know it, everyone is looking for stone or something to go after the accused or the alleged criminal. And this is happening for so many reasons. And for some reason, I want us to get out of just the scope of, oh, people going after criminals and stuff like that. Firstly, let me play a portion of what the justice minister said. Then we're gonna come back to the very point I want to make, and then we'll start the conversation from here. Let's see if we can play this from the justice minister.
This situation is so serious that just the other day, the Supreme Court of Liberia, all the justices, met with me, the Inspector General of Police, and the Executive Director of Liberian Land Authority to discuss the situation as it affects the judiciary, especially the prevention of the enforcement and judgment of the courts for angry crowds. Our country, my brothers and sisters, is moving too fast down the wrong path. Mob violence has become an unfortunate scheme of the fabric of our nation. We have to arrest the situation and change the course of our country. And this is what this administration has pledged to do. And this is what this administration will do. Any form of mob violence is criminal. Mob violence often leads in its wake death, severely bodily injuries, and destruction of properties. While it is criminal to engage in any illegal act, it is also very criminal to damage state infrastructure or to beat the suspected criminal or to destroy private properties. This government will not condone or tolerate mob violence. It is a violation of our laws, and it is also a violation of democratic principles and values. This administration will uphold the rule of law. Law is the fabric that holds the society together. We Liberians have seen and experienced firsthand what happens when there's a breakdown of law and order, chaos, upheaval, unrest, with all the terrible consequences. There must be respect for the rule of law in our country. Therefore, the Ministry of Justice, in collaboration with state security agencies, will.
Okay, so I want us to hold this here a bit and move into the conversation. Respect for the rule of law. Angry crowd will run even into health public facilities and vandalize those places. But again, what are the causes of the very mob violence we're talking about? Now, sometimes you speak with members of the community, what they tell you is, when we arrest the criminal, we carry the criminal to police, for example, or we carry the criminal to the relevant authority. The next day, we'll see the criminal outside. Nothing will happen to those individuals. They'll come back in the very communities and start to threaten us. I mean, is there a way this issue of mob violence can be handled at an equilibrium level where the people who are affected are protected as much as the accused is getting justice in their time in court. It's giving due process. Let me put it that way. I mean, let's start the conversation from here, and then let's hear from you, Moba, and then we can go around the table.
Well, thank you, Nelson. No, the Justice Minister lay a regular, Nelson. Doing the past regime, because like people say, oh, why you always let it go by? Look, with our history, we're moving nowhere. So we gotta lay on history, so we can be able to straighten our future now and our present now. Let's go back a few years ago. A lot of more violence happened under the administration, and nobody brought it. The judge manner, we are government. No one was found guilty on more violence. What else Susuru? And I even hear one. They beat all of
Moba, I understand where you want to come from, right?
Yeah.
I understand you want to play the CDC and Unity Party card, that kind of thing. I understand where you're coming from. But Moba, is it fair to say that mob violence has been an issue in Liberia after the war?
Yes.
From former President Ellen Johnson's first term to her second term to the CDC, and even coming on to where we are now.
Yes. So I'm just trying to lay an emphasis before I respond to his press conference, because he made a very brilliant point, Nelson. Look, when Walter Susuru was beaten, not only him, a lot of people from the UR campus. When Askawa Gray marched to the UR campus with a lot of people, they beat students. There was no investigation. That leader doing the campaign. When George Weah was coming around JJY, that incident occurred. People got killed. They beat people. No conclusion. There was no investigation. It went under the carpet. Everything. We get names and names and names. But the government, they come in with a strategy, Nelson, to get justice to who justice belong to. And for the justice minister to say those words, Nelson, I'm going to commend him. Because look, let me tell you, without justice, no country survive. Without justice and the whole mob violence, Nelson, I agree, right? On all the government, people will do things, they go to prison after 2 days, see the end. I'll give you an example. In Kwara, there's a guy in Kwara around the red belt, setting people land. When he go, he beat you up, he chop you. It go free. When they take a man to the police station, the man will spend 1 week, they free the man come out again. He keep doing the same thing over and over. And he keep harming people. And people keep losing property. As I'm speaking to you, he walking free. On a George Manor we are regime, you know what happened? He did a lot when he go to the court. People stand for him. When they say, oh, you found guilty, you are guilty. When the man go to jail, nothing. After 1 week, the man can answer. So if we want to strengthen our justice system, we got to start from somewhere. He make it clear.
But Moba, where do we start from?
That's where,
given everything we've experienced as a country, where do we start from? Because the thing here is, it is not the officials of government who are involved with more violence. It is the ordinary people. It is the members of the community that are involved with more violence.
Yes.
In some cases, okay, so let's put it this way. Criminal, or let's say an alleged criminal, someone tried breaking into your home, or someone snatched your bag or your phone or whatever. The person is on bad going. And then you say, rob. The next thing that happens is everyone going after that person wants to eliminate that person. Very few people would think about arresting that person and turning him or her over to the relevant authority.
Yeah.
And sometimes those people will say the reason why they will want to deal with the situation themselves is because when they carry those people, there's little or nothing done to set a deterrent. So, Mama, where do we start to handle this issue from? Because at the end of the day, innocent people are being victimized as well.
Yeah. So Nelson, let me just give you a brief something right or bring that scenario. You know what really bring more violence, Nelson? If somebody see, for example, and the person says, okay, yeah, did the man came to the police station, and the man they take him to the police station, and the police people say, my man, you know what? That sees the man. 2 days, you see the man outside, the man doing the scene. So it make people angry. Oh, but wait, that man stole from me. That man nearly killed me, and the man come out again to steal from me, and then I watch him, I will pull rope behind him. We understand it's not right. But we got to strengthen the system first. The system deal with the what? The police. They got to look when they say somebody maybe commit crime or steal or mob, when they go there, let them send the case to the Supreme. Let them send the case to the justice to the Supreme Court, whatsoever is supposed to go to the criminal court. Let it go there. Let it be processed. Let it be investigated. When the person found guilty for stealing, let the law take a court and put the person to jail when I 10 years. Let the person go to jail. Next thing I tell you, you find out that more violence will disappear. A lot of people say, you know what, I'm beginning, man. They may want somebody here in this thing to where they're impressing. So when you start cutting those things, what happened? You begin to realize that that's the real path we're taking. Because what brings more violence is injustice. Next thing, it's injustice. It's injustice.
Thank you. We're going to come back to you more about it. Let's hear from Cindy. Cindy, your take on this issue.
The good news is we have a lot of time tonight because we have very few here. So I want to look, Nelson. It's good to look at this issue on a historical context, right? This is not just a George Weah thing or Joseph Walker thing or Helen Johnson Sirleaf thing. Mob violence has been an issue in Liberia since the war, like you said. There is something called adverse childhood experience. Adverse childhood experience. In fact, I wrote a very beautiful paper on that, talking about my experience from the Liberia Civil War. What a childhood adverse experience does to you is it keeps certain things that you have experienced in your brain that you function as a result of what you experienced in your childhood. What am I trying to say? A lot of our young people around our age now in Liberia, most of the people you're talking about are either around our age or very young, or but mostly you find people around our age doing these things. That's the group of Liberians that went through the Liberia Civil War at a very young age, experienced a lot of brutality. After the war, we never let go of that, right? We never got rehabilitated. So we still have that violent mindset. Liberians, most of us now would rather run to violence, violently address things than to find compromise, than to find the right way. So that's one factor, Nelson. Another factor that we must all look at is the weakness of our judiciary system. It's very weak. And most of our people actually lack confidence in the judiciary system. Okay? It's corrupt. It's ineffective. We see a lot of examples where people will commit crime, they take them to the judiciary system, and they get free. I mean, we saw a recent case with this girl called Jessica. We saw what happened, and that's just one case, right? We have millions of other cases that have been taken to the courts, and nothing come out of it.
Again, that's a point. That could be one of the contributing factors. But again, should we consider it as a justification, given the gravity of mob violence?
So Nelson, there is nothing here to justify. We are not justifying anything here. I'm trying to lay the premises. I'm not trying to justify anything. I'm going to come to the solution, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the weakness in our judiciary system, because of the lack of law enforcement in the communities. Nelson, in countries that protect lives and properties, where you find very limited more violent issues, you find police or law enforcement officers everywhere in the communities, actively patrolling the community, actively engaging with the citizen, actively protecting lives and properties. How many of our communities in Liberia where you just find police, well-equipped police? I'm not just talking about someone who don't even have a good uniform, right? well-equipped police in the various communities that are protecting lives and properties. You don't find that. So mob violence has become a cultural practice for us. Okay? It has become a cultural practice. Our people now believe that the fastest way to get justice is to take justice in their own hand. Because the judicial system is corrupt and we don't have law enforcement officers or law enforcement protecting our communities. Nelson, why should we have vigilantes in Liberia? I was part of a vigilante group in Bannersville. I remember 2007, 2008, 2009. I was part of a vigilante group. And I can tell you, when we capture those guys that come in to steal, what are they even steal? Once we believe that they came to steal, we beat you. It was bad those days, I'm telling you. That's not good. And when you even take them to the police, or when the police come, when you capture them, when during the vigilante days, when the police come, they do nothing. So what we should do as a country, and I applaud, this administration trying to tackle the issue of mob violence, but you cannot really tackle mob violence when your judiciary system is not working. You cannot tackle mob violence when your law enforcement are not equipped and they are not in the community. We need to start doing community policing. We need to start doing community policing on a regular. Our police system should be equipped. Stop paying the lawmakers so much. Put some of that money into our law enforcement. Put your mouth where your money, or put your money where your mouth is, whatever, I don't know it. Put some of that money, Nelson, into law enforcement.
Well, accept anyone, Cindy.
I always give an example to Rwanda, Nelson. Look, your Liberian police officer, their actual income that they get every month is more than what a Rwanda police officer make. But the people are well equipped. You find them in every community, every part. They are in their pickup vehicle, patrolling, walking the streets, well equipped. Where will I, Sandy, go now and say I'm trying to even fight somebody on the street when I know police are everywhere? Once we don't have police presence in our community, Nelson, it will be very difficult to fight mob violence. We can start somewhere. Let's have community leadership. Let's empower the community leadership. Every community must have some sort of structural leadership that must be able to engage with the community. Okay? And then we empower that community leaders or those community leaders to support their community, to engage with the community. But all of this that we are talking about, Nelson, we can talk year round. For the next 6 years of Joseph Waka, we can talk. As long as our judiciary system is corrupt.
And that's exactly and that's exactly where I was coming, Cindy. You mentioned the issue with the police. Getting the necessary support, empowering the police sufficiently to handle the issue. And you also spoke of the court. But if we were to look up for some sort of short-term or medium-term solution or way to address this situation, the police or the court, the police or the court, where do you think much attention will have to be given at this point, given how tall this whole issue of mob violence has grown in our society?
Nelson, let's start with the police. We need more police. We need more well-trained, well-equipped, well-supported, well-paid police. In order to motivate your law enforcement officers, you must treat them well. Uniform them, equip them, pay them, provide medical care for them. We need more police. We need young people to join the police force. but they must be well trained. We must start there. We can start with community engagement, but I'm telling you, community engagement cannot do it. We need to equip our police. We need to get them to the communities immediately to tackle the various crimes in our community. And to change the mindset of our police to be less corrupt, we must take care of them. They must be well kept, well provided for. And I'm not saying just the salary. You may pay the police officer 100, 150, but do they have health insurance? Good health insurance. Are their children going to public school freely? Once you start to free their mind on the extra thing that they have to worry about, they will focus on fighting crimes. They will focus on protecting your communities. They will be energized to go to work. We need to focus on good community policing. But Nelson, until we can, again, take care of those police officers and train them well, we can come here year round, talk about, oh, we want to end it, we're going to bring people to court. How many young people that kill people in the community can you catch? If a criminal come here today, let's say Bannersville, for instance, we run there, we beat that person, we kill the person. How many of us will you catch? How many of us? That is not the ultimate solution. The ultimate solution is to empower our police force to be in the community.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandy. I want to hold you there and bring Bila in quickly. Bila, let's hear you. Let's hear your take on this issue. Sorry, I'm making some adjustment here. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much. And let me appreciate the previous my colleagues. I mean, when I listen to them, they bring some very brilliant analysis. You know, but at the time I was not active in politics. You should be during the advocacy things and activism. Always an organization called Greatness Achieve True Accident. We did a project with Una Liberia, Sudi Liberia, and several other organizations that tackle basic violence. And that project tackled, I think, 10 different violence. And we did it in collaboration with the Ministry of Justice, the General Ministry, and the requisite ministry that has the responsibility to tackle these very violent issues. And one of the things that we actually make a very slim report on that really emphasized on was the issue about mob violence, because at the time in Liberia, I think under Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the issue about mob violence was on the increase, and people were like abused as well. In child abuse were on the increase that we did some several report on. And one of the suggestions that we gave in our report um, from various organizations I can remember was the issue about irresponsible policing. Because nothing, it will shock you to know that you being in Liberia, you know some of the things happen. Our Liberian National Police has not been responsive to certain issues. When it comes to the issue of what creates more violence, and you listen to the colleagues, they talk about the factors. What are some of the factors that makes more violence the increase, or that can make more violence to take place? It is when the police are not responsive in a form and manner where you expect them to be responsive, then at the end of the day, people take law into their hand. And when you always hear people talking about justice delay, it deny, it comes from how people treat cases in Liberia. Like I set my premise when I opened on the issue of self-interest and people wanted to come to government. This is my interest. If you try to put too many interests in from the law and the very good policies that should make our country make progress, then there's an issue. Then we have a problem. Because at the end of the day, mostly you're gonna put interest in for the law will not take a course. The particular person that is being disenchanted, at the end of the day, they're gonna take the law into them hand. And that which we are not praying God for. So the issue about mob violence has always been has always been on the increase, and or has always been happening because people feel disenchanted as to how cases are being handled. And like my brother Sandy said, we got to increase see some things about the police, their pay and unbearable thing. But again, it was interesting to know that they, because everyone has their part to play. In as much that we have to educate our people on how mob violence is not a good thing, but we should also trend on where people need to be drastic. People need to be more of being serious with taking some of these things into consideration. When somebody is disenchanted, you cannot do what you have to do as the reconciliation authority, they're going to take law into their hand. And that is not the right way. So the justice system has to look at few components of what can actually make mob violence to come out increase, or why people are always like into the habit of mob violence. Liberian, for me, I've always said it, no sort of violence, it is something that young people should invent on the time, because at the end of the day, because when we did our project, nursing and colleagues, we did our project, one of the things, violence is not the way forward. And let the justice system be there for the people. So one of that thing, we were like very balanced as to how people should understand that it's not only about telling them how they should stop during mob violence, but the justice system should also. But one of the things that you see more organization, or I'm saying to be corrected, more organization not really proactive in doing this thing, it will shock you and discourage you that when you carry these report and give recommendations and suggestions as to how we can get these things unlimited, because to get rid of it is very hard, because we look
Yeah,
at,
but you can minimize it to some
you can
extent,
minimize it. Yeah, you can
and
minimize it a certain way.
you,
The response from those various authorities, they will not be responsive to you, because one of the things we said in our report is we deal with 100 community within the various districts in Montserrat, because we're targeting Montserrat at that time to go further to see how the response will be from the government. Then we can go further. So one of the recommendations we gave in the various 100 communities, we have set of people who will be there as a face of the police. The, let's say the brother talking about community policing, in the form of community policing, right? That they will be responsible to issues of concern that they are seeing as violent, so the police can be present there quickly. But it was shocking to know that those reports that we make were laid under the depth. So
you know,
moving forward, what can be,
this is very important. It's even great hearing that organizations have been involved with you know, carry on these kinds of initiatives
yeah, yeah,
to gather information, to be able to find ways as to how the issue of mob violence can be addressed.
yeah.
But
And I
again,
can, yeah,
maybe the issue of political will is
okay,
another thing, because
right,
everything we're talking about, the mob violence situation, yes, that's the problem, but the solutions, everything in terms of the solution, how mob violence can be addressed,
yeah,
will have to do with money. It's cost intensive, you know, and that's where it gets very tense. That's where the issue of priority for any administration will now come in. Well, if the government at the time, and again, I don't know when exactly you guys did your survey or your research or study or whatever, but if the government at the time saw this issue of mob violence as a priority, then those reports would have been taken very seriously,
yeah,
some fundings allotted, and be able to see how best the issue can be reduced. And again, in most cases,
mm,
it is not the government that will even underwrite the cost of some of those activities, especially once it has to do with
yeah, yeah,
something that will promote peace in the
yeah,
community, the security of the people, and stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Most times, the international partners will come in. But
will
you
come
want to
in.
just end up, and then we
Yeah.
give the 30 seconds around. We transition to the next talking point.
Yeah, like you make a very salient point, right? You're talking about the issue of support and the political way. Those are very things. Because when I was, and I still hold on to the belief that everything cannot just be government. So, in our own capacity as Liberian and impacting on young people from various sectors that we were targeting as organization, we thought to believe that the government could even actually give us some level of responsibility by following this initiative, because it was a more of an increase, not even in Montserrat, in the rural sector than even in Montserrat. So, like you talk about the political rule and people looking at these things as priority, it has not been something that they have, been taking into consideration.
But
So at
guys,
the end of the day,
let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do
right,
this.
right,
Looking at Liberia's position right now,
right,
looking at the kind of country that President Joseph Yuma Boakai inherited. Now let's forget about everything that happened under the two other administrations before getting here,
yeah,
and taking into consideration that almost everything is a priority right now.
yeah,
The issue of mob violence and addressing mob violence at this point, does it come anywhere close to what a priority should be for this administration? Just sitting from a distance and looking at the fact that agriculture is something that everyone wants to talk about.
yeah,
Education is very important. The
yeah,
healthcare is very important. And you talk about infrastructure, the road
yeah,
connectivity. In fact, you
yeah,
look at the arrest agenda.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe you want to say this thing about more violence will fall under rule of law or what have you. But I mean, given the fact that Liberia right now at this point is in need, there's a serious need to revamp almost all of the different sectors.
yeah.
Does more violence and addressing this issue of more violence come anywhere close to being a priority, something that is of an urgent need, maybe for the government to address at this point? I mean, I'm going to come back to you, Bila, but let's go to Moba, and then we're going to come to Cindy.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Nelson. We all make a very brilliant points on the issue of on the discussion. But Nelson, like we all will come out of one thing: the justice system need to be scrutinized.
Yeah, but again, Moba, I want to say this:
Uh-huh.
taking a look at mob violence all by itself, how much of an effect or impact, negative impact, is having on the Liberian society, the level of insecurity it brings about.
Nelson, a lot.
Does
One,
it come anywhere close to a priority? Is there any reason why the government should take this issue of mob violence as a priority and try to address this issue at this point, considering that there are other sectors and stuff like that?
yeah, Nelson, for the Justice Department, I think they should take the case the more violent, very serious. It's simple, Nelson. Look, a lot of innocent people have been killed just because of more violence. They committed crime because they were on the scene, and somebody that, in their mind, oh, are the president, did they act? They jump on our president, what they want to do, they do it. And end of the day, when they go, it happened. They even get a movie for it in Ghana. They got the 3 students they killed. Free. The kid who got it free. So I think.
And there was a military personnel so many years back in Ghana who went on the beach. I think a lot of you follow that story.
Yeah,
who went
that's
on
few
the
years
beach
back. That's so many years. Few years.
Recently,
Yeah.
even the students.
on the beach to
They made it
exercise.
Oh, it was sad. It was
They
sad.
mistook him for a criminal. The military, I think one of their generals or something,
Yeah.
and he was killed.
He was killed.
Before they knew it, this man was already dead. They took him for a criminal, but not knowing this was a very influential, very productive citizen of the country, serving the military.
Because somebody just said role. You don't know who the role is. And you just don't person, and you just don't people start beating them. So I believe that Nelson, there's a negative effect in our country. We got to stop that. And the justice minister or the ministry itself, or they gotta train the police. Let's say my brother said community police, and secondly, the police now gotta be more effective in the community, giving the people the idea, oh, we can do this. When you hear something, you call all the police. This our number is effective, and something like that. End of the day, next thing you know what happened, you will be. Go ahead.
Even as you're talking about this, I'm thinking more about. And Sandy, we're going to give you 30 seconds and be that before we make the transition. I'm just thinking. You look at Liberia right now. The police is not everywhere at the same time. The police presence is a challenge all by itself.
Yeah.
Back then, we'll talk about mobility, but to some extent, gradually things are taken up on the at a very good pace with the Liberian National Police. Uh, yeah. So the police presence is one thing,
Yeah.
and then where the police is not present, there you have the members of the community. Now, I want us to follow this.
Mm-hmm.
But the community dwellers, the members of the communities, sometimes get to be the victims of the act perpetrated by criminals. Especially so when the police is not around, then they are left to handle the situation all by themselves because most times they are the victims. And then those very people who in most cases are the victims of criminality and stuff like that get to make the tough decision as to how to handle cases with alleged criminals or individuals who are thought to have committed some act in the community. The whole process, Moba, is this something that is workable in the Liberian setting, given
Yeah.
our own challenges we have as a country? The
Nelson,
police is not around. The members of the community, most times they are the ones whose items will get stolen. Now someone says road, criminal, road. Everybody running after the person. No
yeah.
police.
Yeah, but Nelson, we agree. All what we're saying here, we're all making a brilliant point. But Nelson, let's not forget the thing that happened to Jessica Law, right?
Mhm.
If that young guy was not there that day, they could kill him. But guess what? Although he was arrested, he went to police station, they put him in jail, but end of the day, what? He was free. So you think that made our emphasis? I'm giving an example, Nelson. You think in that same situation, it's something that happened in any community, you think the people will call the police? They will not call the police. They won't take action because they believe within themselves that it happened before. And the man that did that, the man free. And the girl, she living with that trauma forever. So we got to pressure our justice system, our judicial system got to be strengthened now, Nelson, so that these things can happen. Because people always time when you see people doing the thing, Nelson, they do it because they want revenge. We agree. Who says it's good? It is wrong. But
Again, should we also be looking at the direction or directing the conversation around what justice is compared to what the expectation or what the interpretation of justice is for members of the community who will most times have an expectation like, okay, so let me put it this way. Someone makes an attempt on your home. Maybe you saw the person in a certain position and then you said roll, but then you decided not to take the situation in your hand, expecting that you carry that man to the police station. The next day they will put the man behind bars. The following day they will send him to South Beach and he will be seen nowhere near that community anymore. But then the man goes to the police station. Police does the investigation. They get to uncover that, oh, okay, though this man was in this or that position, but as per our investigation, this man wasn't a criminal, right? His position or whatever was misinterpreted. Now, but in the mind of the community dweller, that person who carried the person, in their minds, they are not doing the investigation. Their own expectation is that that individual will be caught and put behind bars. So they see the man in the community the next morning. The interpretation is that justice was not served. Is there any reason why we should start to look in that direction as well, as to what justice actually is and what the interpretation of justice is for the ordinary people?
yeah, Nelson, let me just conclude on that. Let me tell you, right? If I go in a community and nobody know me, I ask questions. So a lot suspicious, Nelson. You can just go in a community, you know nobody knows somebody. Say, oh, the first day the person say, okay, the person is a role. They say, no, role. Who you come to? Because you can just go. You say, I lost. You say, oh, I won't find my way. I lost. I go to the place. Let me tell you, Nelson, Liberians, we get a heart of gold. We get a soft heart. We will all, you always be in our position to help because You want that person to maybe to law or something happen to them. So you can say, oh, I saw that person, but that person did or that person died. So if that person, or maybe somebody accused that person and say, okay, the person that rule, you go to court. They may justify and say, oh, I'm not a rule. I'm going to play this man. So the player going to let the person call the person and think that case go to rest. Nobody will. I think if that, if things like that happen, then people will understand that, oh, you can just see people and be about
Thank
it.
you.
But that's the most dangerous part is for you to just see somebody and just say roll. Maybe somebody sees on the whole community coming outside with callers and ain't good. But the only thing we got to work on our judicial system. That's it. Look at that man who did that thing to that guy. Call that guy name. Almost kill that guy. If more violence will come in that boss sacrifice, they put that man in the police station. Any other day, the man won the case. The guy not staying with that trauma. So in our place, nothing in our scene setting, you think when that thing happen again, think people don't want to take the law in their hand. So I think the justice minister need to stand up so it can straighten out our justice system. So that tomorrow, when somebody step on somebody toe, when you go to the court, when the evidence there, what witnesses there, let justice be done.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Moba. And Sandy, we're about to come to you, but again, I want to play just a portion of what the Justice Minister said. This is very important, and I'm going to come back to you. We'll give you your time.
Embark on the necessary measures in eradicating more violence from our society. Individuals engaging in more violence with the assistance of technology, which include drones and social media, will be identified, arrested, and penalized. Yes, there will be swift and severe consequences for those engaging in mob violence. Those involved in mob justice will be swiftly brought with rare justice.
You know, this is lengthy, but I want us to take it one step at a time. Are we about to see a new approach? Are we about to see some actions? Are we seeing some hope here? Are we about to experience a new Liberia when it comes to how the issue of mob justice or mob violence is handled? This is the Justice Minister speaking. Sending the caveat that people will be prosecuted. But again, do we have the sophistication? Like I heard him talk about drones and with the help of social media and all of that. But Cindy, I want you to take your 30 seconds on this conversation.
We can be hopeful, Nelson, but until I can see actions, I would not want to be I would not start celebrating. I want to see actions first. We can say with social media where community dwellers can take pictures or people can take videos that may help. It's possible that that could help. But you cannot be so reliant on just videos and pictures that people will send to the police or to the court. Mundberg gave an example on this Jessica Lloyd thing, and it speaks to the injustice that we have in the country. It was cut and clear that that guy did something terrible to Jessica. He went scot-free. Again, to Mundberg's point, and I hate to repeat, if similar things should happen, would the communities want to turn that person over again? You must ask yourself. You asked your question, Nelson, whether this should be a priority. Tackling the issue of mob violence should be a priority for this government, considering all of the burning issues, all of the burning priorities we have in the country. Ask yourself a question. Do you want to grow your economy? Do you want people to come to Liberia? Do you want a tourist to fill your country, to come to Liberia? Do you want people to do business in Liberia? That's how you're going to build your economy. Tourism will help Liberia drastically. But let me read something to you, Nelson. I was just on the U.S. travel.state website. And then I put in Liberia. You know, the U.S. always caution their citizens. They put updates on where people are traveling.
Yeah,
If
the
you go to
travel.
this country, you must know about this country. For Liberia, the United States government is warning, basically telling its citizens, travelers going to Liberia are advised to exercise increased caution due to crime and civil unrest. Civil unrest is not necessarily just us taking gun and killing each other, but there has been a lot of civil unrest in Liberia. Parties fighting parties, people jumping on the street, fighting each other, killing one another. Those are civil unrest. Due to crimes and civil unrest, violent crimes such as armed robbery are common, particularly in urban areas and public beaches. And this is what it's saying, this other piece here. Local police have limited resources to respond effectively to serial crimes. This is the United States telling its citizens that local Liberian police have limited resources to respond to serial crime. So when you go into that country, be extra careful. And they said something. It is recommended that you should not travel outside of the capital Monrovia after dark, and to complete your travel during daylight hours. Just imagine a U.S. citizen that is not Sandy, Mobile, or Soiree, that is just another person. That person who has never been to Liberia, heard about Liberia, want to travel to Liberia, read this thing on the U.S. government official website. Warning that person, that country you're going to, the police there don't have any resources to fight serious crime. In fact, don't even get outside in the dark. When do people have fun? Now, say young people, when they travel to a country, we call it, night life. Nobody know it better. People want to go out in the night to have fun. When a serious government is telling a citizen, don't get outside in the night. Now say, what would that do? Just think about it. That person will not want to go to Liberia. That person want to go somewhere where they will feel safe, where they can walk around at night. That's places like Ghana. That's places like Rwanda.
No, but again, maybe you haven't seen the travel advisory or what's on the website there for those other countries you're talking about. Again, as much
I'm
as
not comparing yet. I'm not comparing. I'm talking about my own country.
Yeah, certainly. And again, I know you are pushing that point to say that
equip the police.
Yeah, equip the police, and that the issue of mob violence should be of concern. It should be of a priority, because these are things that other countries, even like the US, is saying about Liberia. Once it is security matter and stuff like that, then it falls in line with what we're talking about. Talking about mob violence. But again, and I'll come back to you with a question, Sandy. Given what you've read, given Liberia's present condition, given the kind of country that this government inherited, should the issue of fighting or addressing mob violence be of a priority at this point?
Yes, Nelson. Not just fighting mob violence, but yes, to your question, we must implement system, processes, practices that will address the issue of crimes in general. Let us minimize the crimes in Liberia to make Liberia receptive to travelers, to people outside, to business owners. Let us fight crimes across Liberia. Community crimes, mob violence, petty stealing, armed robbery. Let us empower our law enforcement officers to be in the communities during the day and night, well equipped to protect our citizens, our community. With that, Nelson, that will draw people to Liberia. This is not just to protect us, the citizens, but this is also to sell our country image to the outside world, that Liberia is a safe place where you can go, you will be safe, you will do your businesses, you will travel, you will enjoy yourself. In return, who benefit, Nelson? Liberia benefit. Our local business owner benefit. The tourists come to your country, they buy your food, they spend money in your hotels, they go to your beaches, they go all around your city, they spend money, they meet some of your girls and your boys, they enjoy together. They leave the money right in your country. But when your country don't have that image, I know where you want to go, but don't go there.
No, Cindy, this is interesting. Cindy travels a lot. So
Forget about that one.
It make it all our experience.
When Cindy talking about enjoyment, you have to digest the angle he's coming from. But this is important. At the end of the day, there has to be, the ice breaking moment as we talk about this. But this is serious. To some extent, if we take a look at Liberia, we want to go retrospect a bit. We want to go back. You notice that we've lost a lot of decent people in our country due to more violence.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, more violence has eliminated some criminals as well. I mean, if we're discussing this thing, we should discuss it looking at all sides of it. Now, I want to go back, and just before I bring it in, Bila, I want to go back to something very important the Justice Minister said. Just a portion of this one, and then I'm going to... Today, listen, we are going to give more time to our people out there, here in Liberia and out of Liberia, to call and weigh in their thoughts on this issue. And we have other issues to talk about, but I mean, for this one, we're going to give you guys the time, maybe 20 minutes or so, to just call in and express yourselves on this particular issue, especially you here in Liberia. Let's know. Maybe you have reasons for doing what you do. Maybe there are other reasons, perhaps we don't know, as to why the issue of mob violence is at the level at which it is. But when we display that video of the lady in real light, Miss Dede, who was manhandled by a group of people in the public, she was disgraced, she was humiliated in the public space by a group of angry people only because someone said motorbike rogue. And without investigation, without questioning her, without giving her the time to explain herself, everyone agreed and accepted and began to act upon their perception that she was a criminal. And you can go on without explaining himself. Tyrone Brown. Okay, maybe someone wants to say self-defense or whatever, whichever way you want to put it. Tyrone Brown, a promising Liberian journalist, was stabbed, wounded, and stuff like that. He lost his life. But let's listen a bit to what the Justice Minister said with respect to this, and then we take Bila and take some calls from our people out there.
For any nation to prosper, my brothers and sisters, that nation has to uphold the rule of law. There is the responsibility of both the government and the citizen. The government is on an obligation to ensure that rule of law is upheld at all times. Likewise, the citizen also has to ensure that they too uphold the rule of law. But you know what? Seeking redress for dispute to the courts, by not letting up more justice, by adhering to laws, rules, and regulations. Use public knowledge about mob violence, educate the public on the dangers and consequences of mob violence, educate despite the increase in mob violence, such as harm on employment, limited access to education, among others. Finally, we call upon all Liberians to condemn and denounce mob violence. Mob violence creates fear within the community, undermines the authority and legitimacy of our formal legal institutions, and erodes trust in the government's ability to maintain one another. We implore all Nigerians to work with us in confronting and eradicating mob violence in society. We all should be aware, I think, on July 29, the government, based upon a complaint or through the Ministry of Justice and Anti-Corruption.
Okay, sorry. There's a portion here I wanted to capture where he was outlining the different cases, the different locations where
to discuss the situation
where the okay
as it affects the judiciary, especially the prevention of the enforcement and judgment of.
okay. So sorry, guys. I just can't lay my hand on that portion. But there was a point at which he outlined those incidents at those different locations. But Bila, I want you to come in, and then we're going to open the lines. We'll hear from our people tonight
Yeah.
as we transition.
Yeah, thank you. And I listened to the minister, right? Uh, I want to go to Rod Tony when. For me, I'm not too impressed with it, too many statements, because over the past period of time, we have always listened to statement upon statement. But I believe that when you're talking about upholding the rule of law, it should be on the basis of some practical action. That is, you will move in, right? And we have heard Justice Minister saying these things over the past period of time. And I'm glad that he talked about eradicating, because to get rid of mob violence, we have to get a certain number of police in our country. Like the last time we discussed on the platform, it will shock you to know that when you go in some village area from rural sectors, right? You have only one or two, three
Police officer,
police and
yeah.
yeah, to the station, I mean, or to the particular area. How can two individual or two person people respond to a group of people in some level of circumstances that has to do with dealing with the rule of law? So it's a more concern. I think the police need to be more primarily local to be responding to these various crimes that we always talk about, because to have more violence on the minimum skills. That is, we should have the issue about a police being responsive to various crimes up there. That equip our police, right? So I want to speak to the conscience of Liberian. In as much as we talk to the justice systems in Liberian, but we have our own problem too as citizens. We all have the responsibility to minimize more violence. Not all of us go to school, right? But you who go to school and know the consequences of mob violence, like you ask a very brilliant question, right? How can can the government make it a priority? Because when you look at under the rule, under the pillar of the
The
arrest agenda,
arrest agenda, yeah.
yeah, it's talking about the rule of law, and the rule of law should be a primary something that the government should look at, right? But every citizen should have the responsibility to educate one out there that more violence is not a way forward. Because in more cases, or in some other cases, I can say at the end of the day, the person will not be, let's say, guilty of some of those crimes that is said to be something that they committed. So at the end of the day, people lose life, and when you are losing life in a country, investor will not come. People who wanted to bring company and bring various development in your country, they will not come. So our people, please listen to a more violence is not a way forward. Always be
Thank you.
patient, looking at the police and looking at how your police is structured in your country. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I want us to go to the lines and take some calls from our people out there. Let's hear from Liberians. Let's get their thoughts. Let's let's hear their own positions on this particular issue. 0555 0555 the WhatsApp number is on the screen. You can call as well using the number up there. And then you will be live on the program. This is the late night show, the late night politics on Spoon. I'm Nelson Colette. Peter Soiree is here. Mr. Jirau Cindy is here, and Mobile Soke as well. Let's take our first caller. This person, hello, you're live. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Nelson. I'm Uncle Ben. I call from Balance Ekeba.
Please go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
Thank you so much for the program. I'm a follower of the late night show and sometimes for the Spawn Talk. And I want to thank you guys for the sacrifices that you are making for our own country. The topic of the discussion is very sensitive, and all of the different proposals that the speakers have provided, they are all in place. But I want us to look at it if we will curtail the issue of more violence and looking at the issue of enforcing the law. I want us to go back to the community. You know, the community is a very, from the family to the community. Now, if we go back, my father told me that there were certain times when they were coming up in our country, Liberia, the issue of Boyo or how society people is beyond the rubbish.
Yeah, you wanna just make a point as as soon
I'm
as
only trying to
possible.
link.
Okay.
I'm linking what you see, and then I will bring the point to the community to see how the enforcement will be done.
Okay.
And you already enjoy it brilliantly. He said, look, the issue of Boyo was so heavy to the extent that if you just walk from your house to the next place, people will catch you. But then the community people decide to put themselves together, travel people, and they had their sound, they had their signal, that whenever anybody coming to attack you, just call.
Sure.
If you
Use a sign,
yes,
and then everybody will
you
know that it's
use
an attack.
you use the kind of sign, and everybody will come out to your rescue, and it started helping them greatly. So I say this: since more violence going on, the local community should be empowered with their own rules. Like in some community, you can just go there, you use abusive language.
Okay.
The local community should come together to make sure to punish you. They should get somewhere to carry that complaint.
Thank you.
And those community leaders should be the one to hear that complaint.
Thank you.
And be able to punish that particular person.
Thank you very much.
On the side of enforcing the law, if that happens before it gets to the police, then you will know the people that where to go and how the issue will be addressed. Issue of mob violence, disobedience, and things will start dropping.
Thank you very much for your input. I appreciate you a whole lot. Let's take another person. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you calling from?
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead quickly. Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for accepting my call.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for me, the issue of mob violence, I look at it at different level.
Okay.
The issue of mob violence is due to many factors. Firstly, the economy, the finances of this country is being misdirected using the wrong era. Police not pay well. Look at the justice system poor. People are not paid, and things are not done regularly. Okay, things are not done regularly. Police not well paid. The justice system poor. You kill case to court, you won't get the proper jurisdiction.
Thank you.
So all these lead to more.
Thank you very much.
If the police are well paid and the right thing, this is not. So that's how I look at it.
Thank you very much. Let's go there and take another person from this end. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm Officer Daniel.
Okay, Officer Daniel. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you on.
Yes, on the issue of more violence, I don't want people to emphasize on the police not paying attention. It's just like we need to find a common ground which we can solve this problem, but it's not all about put tensions on the police, because the police number are very low. Salary not coming on time. You are not overworked to a high expectation in which that you are taking pay.
Okay, that's a very great point, Officer Daniel. Thank you. Thanks.
Yes, almost 30 plus now.
Thank you very much. Hello, Please, can you lower the volume? The volume, Dr. Kelvin, can you lower the volume of your TV? Can you lower the volume of your TV, Dr. Kelvin? Hello? Okay. So sorry, we'll have to let you go, and once you adjust, you can call back. Hello, you are live. Your name and where you calling from?
And you down calling from
Yeah, please go ahead. Let's hear you.
yeah, mom, and um about the police and this I think
Can you be audible a bit? You're coming broken.
yeah, so my concern is my contribution towards this topic is much education.
Okay.
I think we need education because if you're not educated, if you not know exactly what it means to violate, what it means to pass the proper law and also to study the rules of law. So they both need education. And the police, most of them, they before them understand that and they have a crime happen somewhere, they will not go there. They will stay in fact, they don't have like this all those things. So equally so the police need to be equipped.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's hold you there and bring another person. Hello. Hello, from the WhatsApp line. Hello. Wow. Hello.
Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
You're live. Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear you.
My name is Faban Sumo and I call from Southern Community.
Go ahead.
Yeah, one of the main contributing factors to mob violence, although we know mob violence is not good in the society, but when it comes to our rules of law, our justice system is not straight in this country. Like our brother was mentioning about Jessica issue. You see, if such an issue is going on and somebody commit such a crime taken to the justice system, after a few times you see that person, out, it will get the community, angry. So at the end of the day, if they catch the issue, they will say, but when we carry the person to the justice system or to the court or whatsoever, they will free the person. So they will just want to take the law into their hand. And our society issue that we get in this country is serious killing our brother who's society. It's seriously killing the justice system. When you go somebody who commit a murder at the end of the day, you expect that person to go and serve their term in jail. You understand? After a certain time, you see the person will be free and pass on at the end of the day, the family will be right. And that, it will be one of the main reasons why people will just want to take the law into their hand. So we have got to, see to it our justice system be very effective. And when they say days, you got to serve the sentence for the lemon time, serve it and let the perpetrator, bear the weight for this crime.
Thank you very much. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you calling from?
Hey, Nelson, this is Alex Steele calling from Portland, Oregon.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear you.
We're talking about mob violence, all this stuff. Nelson, to be honest, I'm not getting Nelson.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You're live.
So, although we're looking at the constraint in the country, look, it will not get be done in a split second. This government just took over. We saw so many things happen in the past government, so we have to give the people a little bit time so they can put themselves together to help the Liberian people. We saw the America sponsor our people make sure they voted for this government. We all pray for the best, but I must commend you guys for criticizing the government when they go on the contrary. I love that. If we all don't hold the government feet to the fire, they will not perform. So Nelson, there's a OHC in Liberia. Every government that can't protect the past government. Every government that can't protect the past government. And one thing, my last statement here is this. There is a syndrome in Liberia. Well, you see that current police director we got, he was there before. So all the loopholes he saw before, he's going to cover up now. So we need a brand new brain in Liberia, not the OHC. So that's a business here. What happened? But Nancy, I need to thank God that my main advice will be heard today. I appreciate your show and all the guys. You guys are brilliant. Thanks you guys so much.
Thank you very much for your input. Let's take this call. Hello.
You guys are doing well over there in the studio.
You just coming on, Dr. Kelvin. You are just coming on. Welcome to the show. Let's hear you.
Really well.
Hello. Hello. Dr. Kelvin, are you here? Okay. Seems we lost him. So we'll take just 2 more calls and then we wrap up. We have to let Dr. Kelvin go. It's like he has some issues with his connection. So let's. Oh wow! Again, let me see if I can get him through this time around. Hello, you're live, Dr. Kelvin.
Hello, Mr. Kula.
Okay, you're live on the show. Let's hear you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank the panelists over there for making brilliant contribution to this topic, and thank you for all the work you've been doing. And this topic, it goes for the public aware at the government. It speaks to us very much that the government, through the Ministry of Justice, and they remember those things that were happening and what all the voter voted them for. They are doing it in accordance. Because if the Justice Minister can come out and talk about the issue of mob violence, it means that under the past regime, they have observed what has been going on. Mm-hmm. So this is why they are coming out now to bring solution to those problems from the past. So now, what is happening now, and for Spoon, they let that show to reflect and talk on this topic is a brilliant idea because it brings what we talk about, it brings awareness among everyone. And the guys that started, I will give it to you guys, the Spoon family, because of this topic, tourists will start to come back to Liberia. The issue of mob violence being addressed on this show. Look at it. The previous callers are talking. One other caller talk on that the police have not been responsive in the justice system in the country. It's true. But I will tell you guys and those callers and people in Viryland are listening now. I will tell you that any other thing, if you have anything of the law, you have to report to the police. No matter what. I don't see the lady that was.
Thank you.
That was a mob victim of
a red light, right? I think your line is breaking. Wow, Dr. Kelvin, for some reason we've lost you. I just hope we can, but we appreciate your input as well. Thank you very much for your input here, your contribution to the show. So yes, we have to come back now, and this is very important. You listen to the callers, guys, making their points on this conversation here tonight. We just can take a lot of calls now because we have to transition. Now, we spoke briefly, just in passing, on the issue with the CSA and that of the House of Representatives. The request for hair count. Now, the last time the CSA took to the public space to talk about what they were doing, the head of the CSA disclosed that they had removed some 700 plus persons thought to be ghost names from the payroll at several ministries of government. And some of those people were given the time to come and verify. There was an announcement with respect to verification process and everything they should have done. And the CSA said they didn't get to see those people. After exhausting every other means, those names were removed, saving the government millions of dollars. that they would have spent annually to pay those individuals. This is something that's been going on at the level of the executive branch of government. I haven't heard, and I'm yet to get what is being done with respect to the judiciary, but especially at the level of the executive, several ministries and agencies, the CSA has been shaking the grounds and going in and making sure that they do the verifications. And then recently, their attention was drawn to the legislature. And then with the legislature, it became a little bit of a back and forth. They presented a budget, their payroll and everything in the budget. And after a while, they presented additional amount that should have been added to sum up to what the payroll or what the payroll, what should be used for the payroll. CSA got concerned and then decided to do head count. But folks, in the midst of everything that's happening here, the CSA, the advances they're making now, I want us to take a look at it for a moment. Some people, even as we speak now, have issues with what is happening. There are some people who, following, for example, the cleanup at the Ministry of Mines and Energy, said that they were in the rural parts of the country. They're not those kinds of people who will come in and sign daily and go back to work because their work is field work. They work in the field. And this whole head count thing, they didn't count them. Some people say they were out of the country and stuff like that, so they were not captured. And so this became a serious issue for them. Some of them have been removed from the payroll as we speak. Now it's extending to the legislature. Good thing is that finally the head count was done. But with everything that's happening now, what are your expectations from the CSA? I want us to start the conversation from here. And maybe we can start with you, Morba. What are your expectations from the CSA?
Yeah, thank you, Nelson. Look, I think there's the best path. Every government, we always sit there and praise for doing that. Nelson, we know for the past 18 years, you know how many ghost names you will get on payroll? They just sitting taking pay. They're doing nothing. People in America taking pay. Because they tell the government, say the government are good government. They take pay. For the past 18 years, on a Malayan judges said it happened. On a job where it was rampant. And the government I want to look, Nelson, only Liberia these things can work. You don't work, they pay you. And I'm gonna commend him. I look at, I see the host of representative getting mad, the speaker, everybody getting angry with him. But that's a job to see who on payroll and who not on payroll. He got a right to do that. He saved it will save millions and millions for the country.
Is it that he doesn't trust those people? I mean, because it should be about trust at some point, Morba. This thing should be about trust. You trust me, I trust you, we trust each other, we work together.
But Nelson,
look, Sandy, and you're laughing, but this is serious. All right? I'll send my payroll to you. I tell you, say, Morba, though you the one in our organization here, you the one responsible to pay people and put people on payroll and all the kind of thing. But that my listing here, that the people that are working with me. And then you, Morba, say, Nelson, I see the listing here, but I want to go count the people then one by one and see who there for you. Is it that the CSA does not trust the House of Representatives, the leadership of the House?
Nelson,
was it right in the first place for the leadership to threaten him? Because
they were wrong. Nelson,
they felt disrespected, that perhaps the CSA did not respect them, the CSA did not trust them, that They had to say they want to come and do a head count.
Nelson, they say
Meanwhile, you have reputable people. The likes of Councillor J. Fonati Kofa, who is the speaker. Rules of Administration, Representative Marvin Cole. All those people are there, and you say you want to come and do a head count.
Nelson, our problem are from our house. The both houses. This House of Senate and the House of Representatives. Our problem today in our country. Look, we understand that where free money can come from for the representative and free money. So look, they say where's smoke coming from? Fire there. You think look, Yeke used to come up doing job we are regime, he used to come out and say, he said people that they taking pay, but people taking money, then working, and we don't even know who need on the ghost thing. When they pass the budget, the money come and they share it among themselves. Look, nothing, it's not about trusting somebody. Our system, our entire system is rotten. We need to fix it. And how do we fix it? Step by step. And that's the red direction. Let me conclude. Let me conclude that the red move he make, and I'm commending for that. And not only the House of Representatives, if possible, he must do it to a lot of entities, so that any other day, if I work for $10, let me get that $10. Somebody might not go, then work, nothing, they get free money. Somebody that says somebody on payroll, they getting money. It is wrong.
Thank you, Mama. You know, this is serious, because you remember, for every time former President George Weah had the opportunity to speak, he will speak about this issue. Removing innocent people on payroll. And now is leaving the executive now, is extending to the House of Representatives.
Yes.
Now, Sandy, let's hear your take on this.
Nelson, there are independent, separate branches of government in our country. We have what we call check and balance. But in our country, we do not allow check and balance to flow smoothly. One branch of government will want to interfere with the operation of the other branch of government. And that is not okay. The CSA is responsible to ensure that the Liberia payroll, the civil servants are getting paid rightfully. The payroll is in accordance with the law, and those that are working must receive their pay timely and effectively. That's just my summary, right? But that's their duty. Nelson, someone should not come from the House of Representatives and say, "Look, here is a list. Trust us. We are running government. We are not running family institution." Even within family business, if you want that business to grow, to profit, you must make sure there are accountability and transparency and fairness that come with rules and regulations. Not trust me by just my words. Let the folks from the CSA do their work. Go from different department, different agency, different branch of government that they are responsible to pay, and make sure you have a head count of living body, people that are working, people that are showing up to work must be the one getting paid. Not people who we don't know. Nelson, that has been an issue in Liberia, where people's names are on the list, getting paid, but they can't be identified. That is an issue. Nelson, someone from the House of Representatives is capable of putting names on the payroll that they may call their driver, their cook, or whatever security. And the government of Liberia will pay those people. In most cases, or in some cases, those people don't exist. Those people don't exist. Nelson, do you know where corruption is heading? One form of corruption, Nelson, is the payroll. When those at the top provide names, to the CSA or to the payroll, whatever agency is responsible for payroll, and you start to pay those individuals without identifying who those people are, that's a form of corruption. That money could be going to somebody.
And Sandy, let me come here a bit. You have the CSA. Okay, so let's put it this way. The CSA says the House of Representatives submit their bill or their payroll or whatever, the cost. CSA reviews it, especially after they've changed the figure. CSA says, I want to do a hair count. Now, the House of Representatives, represented in this case, if I may say, by the chairman on Rules, Order, and Administration, Representative J. Marvin Cole, says, look, this is what you want to do. We're going to declare you a non-governmental material. He threatened the CSA boss. Now, Sandy, what do you think would be the rationale behind one official of government threatening another official of government who is simply asking for a hair count to be done to verify the number of people who are employed in another government, in another branch of government, which is the responsibility of that individual?
Exactly. Nelson, folks in the House and the Senate believe that they have absolute power. We have made them to believe that they are so powerful that they cannot be checked until we can take stand, until we can stand against that. They will continue to believe that they are in absolute authority. The man wants to do his job. The man said, I used to pay you this amount of money. Now you added an additional amount to it. Let me make sure, let me come there and check. Who are you adding? Before you can add, that means you must have either added additional staff. Something must cost you to add additional money to your payroll. Let me check. If you are hiding nothing, why should you be concerned? If you have nothing to hide, why should you worry? Why should you threaten the man? Basically, you are threatening the man. And then when we talk about corruption, those same people sit up there and want to act like they are representing the Liberian people. We have to ensure, Nelson, that our monies are being managed correctly, adequately, efficiently, so that we can turn to other things. We are just talking about the area of security crimes today. If we cannot check those on your payroll at the House, in the Senate, in every part of our government, the 103 spending entities, if we cannot check who on those payroll, and we continue to give money, it's that you're giving a blind check. You keep giving money to somebody, but not following up why you're giving that money. You're not following up to know exactly where that money is being spent.
Thank you.
That's not responsible governance. So the legislators should stop threatening the CSA's boss, allow the gentleman or allow that group to do their work.
Thank you.
If they come to your institution, check, and they find out that you have a reason to increase your payroll, they will pay your people. And if there is no reason, that extra money can be put into securities, into our school, into our healthcare, or other things.
Thank you. Thank you, Cindy. Be that finally on this one, and then we'll do our closing.
You know, nothing. I'm not easily moved by government entity, some level of progress. But I'm becoming to be moved by Josiah Joker about his progress that he made, because over the past period of time, I have listened to him And I'm seeing some practical action, basically joining from the collaboration you have with the Liberia National Identity and in partnership with the Ministry of Justice to try to identify or to enhance a collaborative working that has to do with people who duplicate ID cards and want to beat the system to be employed. So when I saw that program, I said to myself, this brother is for business. And when he attended the Ministry of Information and tried to get some basic update about how much government will be saving, I think 1 or 2 million. I can't now get the right figure right now.
Some
From
2.6 million.
Thank you for from some of the investigation that they have been doing, getting rid of ghost names from the payroll. I talked to my talk. I said, the guys, it's not for business. And now we're hearing extended to the legislature. You know, one of the normal thing legislators or representatives will do is wanting to threaten other government officials, especially from the executive. We will call you, we summon you, we put the issue about vote of no confidence, wanting to threaten them by not doing that job. I think the brother is now moved by that. And when I listen to Honorable Marvin Cole, I've been like, if you don't have anything, because the brother want to be transparent what you're doing, what the numbers you're calling, or the number that has been had, whether they are coming to work or whether they are doing the work of the Liberian people. Because you cannot be on a payroll and just kind of taking free money, you're not doing the job that you should do. If you are not, and doing anything with any inner motive, right, that is not correct, why should you even come up with a press conference in the first place? And I listened to you giving update because I didn't follow that the head count was done and more people were like happy about the hair count. Those other were like complaining that they are all the time, all the business thing. I think they can handle that. As to how that can be handled, they can handle that for their angle. But I think it is good that we always see government from the more of transparent so as to making progress, because the issue about payroll, it has been an old age thing. More people just on payroll, they're not coming to work, and you seeing other people who are doing the work, they are not even, all of them getting the same pay. It is not something fair. So when the GSA boss gave the video report, I said to myself, I said, brothers, it's all for business. And I want to urge him to go forward to the judiciary, right? Do not stop because I know that is a responsibility, right? So nobody should threaten you, nobody should make you move. And I know the brother is a very brave brother. You're not going to be moved by those threats because somebody cannot say, we do vote or no confidence in you, and he has not done anything that surmised to the issue of vote or no confidence. There's no disrespect to the representative. Why should you say you're going to bring the brother to public record? You will say you do vote or no confidence. Do your job. Do not be moved by this guy, because we have always talked about the lower horse and upper horse that has always been the prime of that country.
Thank you very much, Pilar. And with this, we'd like to come to the end of the late night show tonight. It's been a great show.
No closing.
Moba celebrates his birthday tomorrow. Happy pre-birthday.
On our side, already on the 8th, my man.
Okay, so yeah,
your side.
no, but we'll celebrate according to your time, so that tomorrow we'll do your own official celebration.
No problem.
But I want to say happy pre-birthday to you, Moba, and
Thank you.
as you celebrate another birthday tomorrow. So let's take 1 minute each to do our closing, because we have like 5 minutes to close. Yeah.
Let me do my 1 minute quick. Thank you to our viewers, listeners around the world. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you to the panelists also. And we'll keep appealing to the government, more especially the president, because he's the commander-in-chief. We'll keep appealing to him, begging indulgence to make sure our people live a better life. Let him people who in his government trying to destroy his government, let him do some background investigation and take them out. And for the lands and mine minister, women pay. You got a lot of things on your table, my big brother. You got to stand up. You got to do it for your Liberian people. Depending on you, a lot of sources moving from in our country with no trace of people. They're getting rich and our people suffering. Even the water they're taking those things in front, the people drinking the water, they're getting sick. No good health, no good road, no school, no nothing. So Roman pay, you gotta wake up, you gotta stand up like a man. Nobody can fight you, will stand for you. Every day we'll come on this show, we'll back you, we'll be with you. Nobody will run propaganda against you because you're doing the right thing. Because we understand they got other lawmakers, they got other big hands,
Thank you.
hands in the issues. So they're trying to come around and we will come here. When our need come up, we'll call their name. Thank you, Nelson, and thank you, elaborate people.
Thank you very much, Mobile Soka. You took your birthday gift already. Extra time. let's hear you, Cindy.
We had a great show, and I just want to thank all of you. Mobile, happy pre-birthday. I know we'll celebrate you tomorrow. Shirley Snare, I wasn't here when the birthday song was played here yesterday. So happy birthday again, Shirley. Again, a great show tonight. I just want to leave here tonight celebrating again our own brother, a Liberian, Joseph Fambula.
Yeah.
Now, currently, Joseph, we can safely say that at this moment, Joseph Fambula is the fastest runner out of Africa. And that's a big deal. I mean, and we can give him that title because of his remarkable achievements at the 2024 Olympic that is being held in France. So Joseph Fambula, we can say that he's the Africa's fastest runner. You know, the folks from this place, Jamaica, celebrate their own. His son boat. And you know, we have our own right in front of us that we must celebrate as well. So we spoke on those, you know, issue of security and all those things. I think we deliberately highlighted those issues. And Nelson, again, thank you for the show.
Thank you very much. Vida, finally, take us
Thank
home.
you. Thank you so much. And I want to say thanks to all those that phone in to make their contribution to the conversation. Those that are in the comment section, Dr. Kevin, Love, and all of you guys that always take upon your time to come here to listen to all. Like always we would say, take the known and the sense there, you should disseminate your other people. More violence is not the way forward. The justice ministers or the justice ministry to try to see to put mechanism in place as to preventing more violence. And basis, nobody should be threatened as a government official when you're doing the right thing. Do the right thing. Do not be deterred by any lawmaker statement of go vote or no confidence. Do the work for the Liberian people, not for them. They are there. They should do the work for the Liberian people. I think it was a good show. I want to say happy birthday to my brother Zuka and happy birthday to Shirley once more again. It was a good show. Thank you, Nelson.
Well, thanks a lot to you, Soiree. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Cindy, for being here. And to you, Mobile, we appreciate you as well. You know, it's like when we feel on set, we have a great show, a quiet show, no too many interruptions. Look, the disruptors are Anthony. I'll call their names here.
Anthony Baba, the messenger for the
You see Anthony. You see Anthony. You see Vasco. You see George when George on the show. You see who else? You see Raymond. Information.
No, the front Raymond can disrupt this thing and listen.
Observation.
But the man to observe.
And you see Francis as well. But we appreciate everyone, man. I think it's been a great show.
Yeah.
We look for Shelley interrupts as well too. You know, when Shelley interrupts too, man. Every chance to do the same thing.
Even Bibi, but I see the master.
No, Bibi can get angry and then she log off. So well, see,
Maggie do.
Then
we are international disruptor. Don't put out Maggie.
I want to say thanks to everyone, man. It's been a great show.
Our people in Philadelphia are coming there this weekend.
Cindy will be in Philadelphia.
You're prepared the toboggi. Anyone in Philadelphia, you're prepared the toboggi.
I will prepare the water soup.
We look forward to being here again tomorrow. Guys, have a good night. Bye-bye for now. Please make sure if you're in Liberia, check your doors, check your windows, make sure everything is in tight.
Just imagine you was saying it. What kind of culture is that?
And bye-bye for now.